Welcome to our History in Shadows channel, and be sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this.
Austro-Hungarian Gebirgsschützen Battalion, Mountain Battalion, is pictured defending their position during the Battle of Caporetto on October 25, 1917. They are armed with the Skoda Sturmpistole M.18, a locally produced reverse-engineered version of the Villaparosa submachine gun, highlighting mountain warfare tactics and innovation in World War I. Janet Gaynor and Georgia Bryan are pictured in Sunrise, Fox Film Corporation, circa 1927. Gaynor won the first-ever Academy Award for Best Actress, recognizing her performances that year in Sunrise, Seventh Heaven, and Street Angel, highlighting early Hollywood cinematic achievements. Sir Oswald Mosley, leader of the British Union of Fascists, born in 1896, is pictured with a bandaged head after being struck by a brick during a disrupted fascist meeting in Liverpool on October 10, 1937. His supporters also faced attacks in Devon, Manchester, Newcastle, London, and Stockton, reflecting widespread public resistance to fascist demonstrations across Britain during the 1930s. On this day in 1894, serial killer H.H. Holmes was arrested in Boston on a Texas horse theft charge. This routine arrest exposed his insurance fraud schemes, connected him to the murders of Ben Petezel and 3 children, and revealed his infamous Chicago murder castle, cementing his notorious place in criminal history. The Soviet Armstrong Whitworth Albemarle is pictured, a British-designed twin-engine transport and bomber aircraft supplied under Lend-Lease during World War II. The image highlights its use by Soviet forces for transport, paratrooper deployment, and limited bombing missions, demonstrating Allied equipment support on the Eastern Front. Soldiers are pictured positioned on a ridge in a World War I scene from the Chirico collection. The image captures troops in defensive positions, illustrating the challenges of trench and ridge warfare, the use of elevated terrain, and the harsh conditions faced by soldiers on the front lines. Italian Regimental Ardito Ostilio Beretta, pictured from a regimental shock detachment in late 1918, represents elite assault troops of the Italian army during World War I. These soldiers were trained for rapid, high-risk attacks, specializing in infiltration and breaching fortified enemy positions on the front lines. Soldiers and Native Americans are pictured at the monument commemorating the 50th anniversary of the Battle of Little Bighorn in 1926. The image reflects historical remembrance, honoring both U.S. military personnel and Native participants while marking the enduring significance of this 1876 conflict. The SS Rex is pictured on its side and ablaze in Capodistria Bay, 2 days after being attacked by Bristol bow fighters of the Mediterranean Allied Coastal Air Force on September 10, 1943. The image highlights the destruction of a major Italian ocean liner during World War II naval operations. Queen Elizabeth II meets Marilyn Monroe for the first and only time at a London Royal Film premiere on October 26, 1956. Both women, born in 1926, were 30 years old, capturing a historic encounter between the British monarch and the iconic American actress. On this day in 1940, George Metesky, later called the Mad Bomber, placed a bomb on a New York City office building's window ledge. This was the first of over 30 bombs in a campaign that terrorized the city for 16 years, making him one of America's most notorious domestic criminals. A young lady is pictured standing in a forest around the early 1900s. The photograph captures her attire, posture, and the natural surroundings, reflecting early 20th century portraiture styles and the era's appreciation for nature as a backdrop for personal and artistic photography. Your grandfather, pictured in a black suit, is seen with his siblings around 1930. The image captures family dynamics, period clothing, and expressions, highlighting early 20th century domestic life and the playful, candid personalities of children during that era. Austro-Hungarian troops are pictured marching toward the Isonzo front in 1917, moving through one of the heavily contested Alpine valleys. The image highlights the harsh terrain, grueling conditions, and strategic significance of mountain warfare during World War I on the Italian front. A group of Italian Arditi from an unidentified assault battalion, likely the WWII, is pictured in 1918. These elite shock troops were trained for high-risk offensive operations, including trench raids and close-quarters combat, demonstrating the specialized assault tactics of the Italian army during World War I. American pilots of the Flying Tigers are pictured alongside their P-40 Warhawks in Burma, 1941. The image captures their preparation and aircraft, highlighting the early volunteer efforts of the American Volunteer Group to defend China and disrupt Japanese advances during World War II. Two Soviet A-20G Boston torpedo bombers of the 51st Talon Red Banner Mine and Torpedo Aviation Regiment fly low over Berlin on May 28, 1945, just days after Germany's surrender. The German Reichstag is visible in the background, symbolizing the fall of Nazi Berlin and Soviet aerial presence during the immediate post-war period. A college dorm room in Michigan is pictured around the 1890s. The image captures student life of the era, showing period furnishings, personal belongings, and natural lighting, offering insight into domestic arrangements, academic culture, and living conditions in late 19th century American colleges. Around 1939 in Wyoming, two young women are pictured pulling ropes around the neck of a snowman. The image captures playful wintertime activities, outdoor recreation, and the light-hearted spirit of rural American life on the eve of World War II. Dwight Eisenhower is pictured giving orders to troops on D-Day, June 6, 1944, declaring full victory, nothing else. The image captures the Allied Supreme Commander's leadership during the Normandy landings, emphasizing strategic command, morale, and the high stakes of World War II's pivotal operation. In the province of Turin, summer 1944, a GNI unit is pictured departing for a counterinsurgency operation. The 115th Montebello Battalion, the Autonomous Battalion of Moschettieri degli Alpini, and units of the 10th Division operated alongside SS forces in the Canavese region, reflecting Axis anti-partisan activities in northern Italy during World War II. Cunard Line's Mauritania, launched in 1939, is pictured being broken up in Inverkeithing, Scotland, between 1965 and 1966. The image documents the dismantling of one of the era's iconic ocean liners, reflecting the end of its operational life and changes in mid-20th century maritime transport. A French soldier is pictured at Fort Vaux, Verdun, on November 22, 1916. The image captures the conditions and atmosphere during one of World War I's fiercest battles, highlighting the soldier's defensive position, trench warfare, and the intensity of the prolonged siege. A camouflaged Finnish road is pictured in 1941, with trees suspended by ropes to conceal the route from Soviet aircraft during World War II. The image highlights innovative defensive measures, illustrating Finland's strategic efforts to protect transportation lines and hinder enemy reconnaissance. Gustav Håkansson, known as the Steel Grandpa, is pictured wearing his homemade No. 0 racing bib in 1951. At 66 years old, he unofficially entered the Sverigeloppet cycle race after being deemed too old, finishing 5 days later a full day ahead of every official competitor, demonstrating remarkable endurance and determination. A Galician trench is pictured, showing soldiers positioned within fortified earthworks during World War I. The image highlights the construction, layout, and defensive strategies of trenches in the Galicia region, illustrating the harsh living conditions and tactical challenges faced by troops on the Eastern Front. Young ladies Miss Trutt and Miss Moore are pictured posing for their portrait in Junction City, Kansas, in 1898. The image captures period clothing, hairstyles, and formal portraiture conventions, reflecting late 19th century American social customs and domestic life. HMS Dreadnought is pictured fitting out at No. 15 Dock, HMNB Portsmouth, in 1906. The image captures the assembly of the revolutionary battleship, which transformed naval warfare with its all-big gun design, steam turbine propulsion, and set a new standard for early 20th century naval power. Sea Hurricanes are pictured at the final assembly plant of the Canadian Car and Foundry Company in Fort William, now Thunder Bay, Ontario, on September 18, 1941. The image highlights wartime aircraft production, showing the scale of assembly and the security from Luftwaffe attacks during World War II. Wellington X, serial LP-156, coded DTD Duck, of a Flight 192 squadron, is pictured in mid-1944. The aircraft was employed for electronic intelligence, ELINT, flights and bomber support missions, highlighting its role in gathering crucial information and aiding Allied operations during World War II. In 1945, the USS Indianapolis is pictured after being struck, with calm seas surrounding the vessel. The image captures the tense moments awaiting rescue boats, reflecting the ship's critical situation during World War II and the imminent rescue of its crew following the attack. A Sturmgeschütz 3 Ausf. B assault gun is pictured near Onetta, Wormdet, in 1944. The image highlights German armored infantry support during World War II, showing the vehicle's role in direct fire against fortifications and troops, as well as its deployment in the East Prussian campaign. Exodus-ter homesteaders are pictured in front of a farmhouse in Nicodemus, Kansas. These Black Americans migrated from Mississippi River states to Kansas in the late 19th century after the Civil War, seeking land, opportunity, and safety, and helping establish one of the first all-black settlements on the Great Plains. Two girls are pictured standing in waist-deep water near their home, likely following a local inundation, circa the 1890s. The image captures the impact of flooding on daily life, while also showing children's resilience and the domestic environment of the period. Sergeant James F. Jones, tail gunner of AB-17 Fortress with the 560th Bomb Squadron, 388th Bomb Group, is pictured at IF Netishal in September 1943. The image highlights the cramped conditions of his position, emphasizing the challenges and dangers faced by aircrew during World War II bombing missions over Europe. Italian Arditi of the 2 Shock Battalion are pictured in France, 1918. These elite assault troops were trained for high-risk offensive operations, including trench raids and close-quarters combat, demonstrating the specialized tactics employed by the Italian army during the final months of World War I. A young Afghan rebel is pictured working at a gunsmith station inside an underground Mujahideen hideout in Jawar, Khost Province, Afghanistan, in 1985. The image highlights the covert operations, improvised weapons maintenance, and resourcefulness of resistance fighters during the Soviet-Afghan War. The Wampas Baby Stars of 1924 are pictured, a group of young actresses selected annually by the Western Association of Motion Picture Advertisers to promote rising talent in Hollywood. The image reflects early studio publicity practices and the glamorization of emerging film stars in the 1920s. Frederick Douglass is pictured with his grandson Joseph in 1895. The image captures the renowned abolitionist and statesman in his later years, highlighting family connections, his enduring legacy, and the personal side of one of America's most influential figures in civil rights and social reform. Cliff House in San Francisco is pictured, established in 1901. The image captures the iconic seaside restaurant and gathering spot, reflecting early 20th century leisure culture, coastal architecture, and the social importance of scenic destinations for residents and tourists during that era. A baby is pictured kissing his mother in Spain, 1921. The image captures a tender moment of familial affection, highlighting early 20th century domestic life, clothing styles, and the universal bond between parent and child within the cultural context of the period. A Hamasalal, Kagyul ceremonial dancer is pictured during the winter dance ceremony in 1914, photographed by Edward Curtis. The image captures traditional Native American rituals, elaborate attire, and cultural expressions, documenting the spiritual and social practices of indigenous communities in the early 20th century. Rafael Esposito is pictured preparing what is considered the first photographed pizza in 1890. The image captures the origins of modern pizza making, showcasing culinary techniques, traditional ingredients, and the cultural significance of Naples as the birthplace of this iconic Italian dish. Italian Additi of the I-Shock Battalion are pictured during the assault on Montefratta on the Bain Scissor, the 20th of August 1917, part of the 11th Battle of the Isonzo. The soldier on the far right likely carries a Villa Perosa submachine gun, highlighting elite assault tactics and close-quarters combat during World War I. F6F3 Hellcat No. 27 of VF-1 is pictured launching from the hangar deck catapult aboard the USS Yorktown, CV-10, on June 3, 1943. The image captures carrier-based aviation operations, pilot readiness, and the role of the Hellcat in providing air superiority during World War II's Pacific campaigns. A daguerreotype captures a young lady with a very intense glare, circa 1850-1860s. The image highlights early photographic portraiture, emphasizing formal posing, meticulous attire, and the expressive capacity of the medium to convey personality and emotion during the mid-19th century. A Kawasaki Ki-45 Army Type 2 two-seat fighter, Toryu/Nick, of the 4th Sentai, 1st Chutai, is pictured taking off from Ozuki Airfield in Yamaguchi Prefecture, Japan, in January or February 1944. The image highlights Japanese twin-engine fighter operations and the aircraft's role in defensive missions during World War II. A De Woyton D.522AC is pictured in service with the French Navy at Latague Naval Air Station, Algeria, sometime between August 1, 1942, and October 1, 1943. The image highlights the aircraft's role in naval aviation, French wartime operations in North Africa, and the use of domestic fighter designs during World War II. A young Friedrich Nietzsche is pictured in 1861. The image captures the philosopher in his early years, reflecting mid-19th century attire and portraiture conventions, while offering a glimpse into the formative period of one of history's most influential thinkers in philosophy and cultural criticism. An elephant herd is pictured in Tsavo, Kenya, in 1976. The image captures the group in their natural savanna habitat, highlighting social behavior, movement patterns, and the importance of wildlife conservation, while providing insight into East African ecosystems during the mid-1970s. A young couple is pictured taking photos together in the 1890s, captured on a crisp glass negative showing slight damage. The image reflects social customs, courtship practices, and photographic technology of the late 19th century, providing a glimpse into personal and domestic life of the era. An Italian woman is pictured carrying a box of dry goods in New York, February 1912. The image captures the daily labor and immigrant experience in early 20th century America, illustrating the contributions of Italian women to urban commerce and the challenges of working-class life. Chief Isaac of the Han-Hwekin people of Canada is pictured with his son Edward around 1899. The image captures familial bonds and Indigenous leadership, while also reflecting the tragic impact of tuberculosis on Indigenous communities, as Edward would later die from the disease at age 14. 3 soldiers of the New Zealand Maori Battalion are pictured with a barrel of tai-tai, mutton birds, sent for Christmas dinner in Italy, circa December 23, 1944. Photographed by George Kay, the image highlights cultural traditions, soldier camaraderie, and efforts to maintain home comforts during World War II deployments.